The essence of this phone is very simple. If you liked the OnePlus 3, you'll like the 3T even more. In the hand, the two phones are indistinguishable, save the newer model's gunmetal paint job and a sapphire lens cover on the primary camera. The big changes are inside, and even they aren't that big. First, the Snapdragon 820 processor makes way for the faster and newer 821. This reduces boot time, increases app loading speed, and theoretically helps with camera performance. More on that in a second. In addition, the battery gets a 13% bump over the older model, and a new 128 gig storage option is available at the higher price tier. The software continues to be OnePlus's own Oxygen OS. It's based on the older Android Marshmallow, but aside from having an older security update, I don't really mind, for two reasons. The first is that OnePlus has committed to delivering Android N before the end of the year, and significantly speeding up its update delivery going forward. Yeah, I know, every company says that, and you're right to be skeptical. But here's the other thing. Oxygen OS is better than ever. I almost like it as much as I like the Motorola Android skin, and if you've been watching me for a bit, you know that's saying a lot. It continues to blend the super smooth performance of near-stock Android with very smart feature improvements. Among them, swipe up on the home screen to jump to a Google search, hold down the capacitive buttons to reveal notifications, or do a bunch of other stuff, do a 3-finger swipe for a screenshot, and lock access to any app you want with a thumbprint. And these are just some examples. You can make basically every button and the ringer slider do exactly what you want. The result is a phone that can be quickly made to feel just like home, with very little effort. If you're a selfie storyteller, there's one last thing to get excited about: a new front-facing camera with the same 16-megapixel resolution as the main shooter. I ran an unscientific Snapchat poll, and most of you agreed that the OnePlus 3T outperformed the other front-facing cameras I used: a Pixel, the Moto Z, and the Mate 9. Results from the FFC in regular shooting were similarly impressive given enough light. I still think lower resolution sensors with bigger pixels are the way to go if you're mainly shooting selfies in the club, but for daytime stills and video calls, and especially Snapchat, this camera's great. As I said earlier, the primary camera is unchanged from the OnePlus 3, but the viewfinder has gotten upgrades in the form of a beefed-up manual mode and new software stabilization that works in concert with OIS to produce a nice, steady shot. Also, the focus is lightning quick, almost as fast as that on the Google Pixel. The bad stuff? It doesn't take much sun on a subject to make it overexpose, and this camera is yet another reminder that HDR isn't a cure-all. I'll let the pictures speak for themselves for a second. Odds and ends? The display is the same Pentile AMOLED panel as on the 3, which means that purists will find something to hate about it even in sRGB mode. I think it's fine, with two little exceptions. One, it doesn't get quite bright enough in the sun. And two, the built-in night mode uses the worst shade of pea yellow I've ever seen. Moving on to battery life, the 3T's extra reserve is enough to see me to the end of even a heavy use day, as long as I don't do too much audio streaming. And the super quick dash charge rapid replenishment still lives up to its name. Some issues from the OnePlus 3 seem to have been corrected, like the annoying LTE signal jumping, while other bugs have cropped up, like the screen not always turning off in phone calls when using the dialer app. With every new so-called flagship killer that OnePlus launches, the price climbs a little bit higher. If you're put off by that, I can't say I blame you. The level of quality the company pulled off a couple years ago at $299 was truly legendary, and it made the brash branding a lot easier to swallow. But the truth is, even at $439, there's no question in my